H? I've got to say Octoboy. That's a big mood. If YouTube didn't exist, what would you be doing? So if I wasn't doing YouTube, I probably would just be spending my free time focusing on my music, creating my own songs, and just getting myself out there as a musician. Plant Gang? 100%, you know it. Day one, dude. If you could do anything in the universe, what would it be? To be honest, if I could do anything, it would be to go into outer space. That seems like it would be so cool, man. Hey, what's your number? Don't be acting like you ain't got my number, Jay. So a couple of you asked what inspired me to make YouTube videos and who my favorite YouTuber was. So these are one and the same. My favorite YouTuber is JonTron, and he's the one who also inspired me to make YouTube videos. The reason he's one of my favorites is he just has like such an infectious sense of humor. His editing and pacing is all so well done, and his production value has only just gone up and up as he's become a bigger and bigger YouTuber. Honestly, been such an inspiration to me to actually create content. Would you be open to play other games on your channel? So from the beginning, I've wanted to be a Nintendo variety channel, but I didn't have a capture card, which is why I was limited to just recording PC games. But earlier this year I took the plunge and I bought a Elgato HD60, so now I can capture my Nintendo Switch and my PlayStation and all those games that I play way more than my PC. Though, as long as I can make a video funny and entertaining and I'm having a good time, I will play anything on the channel. A few of you asked, did you ever think you'd make it this far? Honestly, no. I never thought I'd ever have any kind of audience, and the fact that you guys are so loyal, dedicated, and supportive, even at such a small size, it's honestly so surreal to me. It blows me away. I knew I'd get this question a lot. How did you meet Jmoji, Vian, and other popular YouTubers? So it's kind of a long-winded story, but I'll cut it short. A friend of mine who you guys are probably more familiar with by the name of Alpharad created something called the Alpharad Academy back in January. This was a Discord server he created for potential creators that he thought had promise in making it on YouTube. In there, funnily enough, I met Jay and Vian, and the rest is history. How old are you? As of September, I'm 24 years old. What's your favorite color? My favorite color is blue, but recently I've kind of really liked the color red as well. So that's why my branding is kind of like that weird galaxy swirl, the two colors just colliding. What do you personally find the most challenging about making a video? Honestly, for me, the most challenging part of creating any kind of content for YouTube is figuring out a theme. I'm a creator that, for the most part, I don't like just straight up gameplay. I prefer to have some sort of theme to a video to make it interesting and to keep people engaged in the content. And finding that is sometimes insanely difficult, and I'll have to rack my brain to try and find original ideas. What is your favorite RPG game? So my favorite RPG also happens to be my favorite game of all time, and it's Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door on the Nintendo GameCube. And dude, the game is so good. Like, words cannot describe how much I love that game. It's absolutely phenomenal. The characters, the storyline, the battle mechanics, everything in it, the aesthetic of the game, I just love it. And I'm really kind of gutted that Nintendo went away from the more traditional Paper Mario style with the more recent entries. Thoughts on ice and cereal? What's your favorite kind of ice cream? So if we're talking like basic flavors, my go-to would probably be mint chocolate chip, but I also have like a massive fondness for the cookie dough Ben & Jerry's flavor, dude. But for real, that stuff is dangerous because I'll buy a tub and I'll end up just eating the entire thing in one sitting, and then I'll hate myself for like a week. Who and what inspires you to keep making videos? Well, this one's obvious. It's you guys. Without you, I would just be making this purely for my own enjoyment, and don't get me wrong, I still enjoy it, but the fact that there's an audience of you now, there's a couple hundred people that will actually actively watch my stuff, is the most insane and bizarre feeling in the world, and it keeps me motivated to keep making content. But apart from you guys, I'd have to say it's probably just creating in general. I've always enjoyed that. I absolutely adore the editing process. Taking like raw footage and making it into something that's entertaining is the coolest thing to me. What's your absolute favorite meal to eat? So since I'm away at university and I don't really get to go home too often, when I do go home, my mum cooks and she makes the most bomb-ass lamb curry. I swear to God, it is the best thing I've ever eaten. Like, she just makes the lamb all tender and soft, and she puts this little seasoning on the right. Oh, it's so good, honestly. What types of videos do you have the most fun recording? So generally, the most fun I have recording is when I'm playing games with my friends, because we bounce off each other, we have that chemistry, and it's generally just more fun being able to talk to someone and having that constant stream of commentary just going on between the two. However, recently I've kind of become way more comfortable with just recording on my own. I recorded Let's Go Eevee on my stream and I had a lot of fun doing that. So at the moment I'm just having fun creating stuff and making content. How did you get into editing videos on YouTube? So, about 6 years ago, in 2012, I went to one of my friend's houses and he showed me this Source Filmmaker clip and it had Game Grumps audio. Never heard of Game Grumps, but I recognized one of the dude's voices. When I looked it up, I realized it was Ego Raptor, and I watched the guy's cartoons on Newgrounds back in the day, like, relentlessly. I loved his work, so I was like, okay, I'll check these guys out. And sure enough, I absolutely fell in love with Game Grumps. I love them. I still watch them to this day, just not as much. I tend to put them on in the background when I'm editing. And through Game Grumps, I found JonTron, who is by far my all-time favorite YouTuber. A little sad that he doesn't upload as much anymore, but he's got some absolute golden videos in his back catalogue. Through that, sparked my inspiration to want to create content for this platform. I started off making badly edited Let's Play videos, and slowly and surely worked my way up into making like the kind of montage-style videos that I make now. Will you ever do collabs with other Splatubers? Hit that bell button, you'll find out. I know this is always asked, but do you have any advice for people beginning or starting out on YouTube? Okay, so I'm probably not the best person to ask this, but from my advice, just create what you want to create. Create what you'd like to see. Content you enjoy, try and replicate it, and eventually you'll create your own style. If you're enjoying what you're creating, then chances are someone out there will also enjoy that. And another big tip is network. Reach out to content creators that are a similar size to you, make friends, create content with them. Honestly, that's one of the best things about making content for this website, just the friends you can make and the content you can create with other people. What do you hope for yourself in the future? Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. It would be amazing if this one day became like a full-time thing and I could create content all the time as my job, but with the way YouTube works nowadays, I'm not 100% sure that that can happen, but I'm hopeful. I really am. How did you decide on the name Fyrus? It's pretty cool. What do you do in your spare time? So I work 3 times a week at a bakery, which I know doesn't sound like much, but due to the fact that I work incredibly unsociable hours and I don't sleep very well as it is, it literally writes me off for the entire day afterwards, and sometimes even the next day. I also go to university, which takes up some time, and apart from that, record, stream, and I guess play instruments and talk to my friends on Discord. Do you think you'll do a Draw My Life in the future? Honestly, I'd love to. Those kind of videos are very old school YouTube, and I grew up with that kind of stuff. I loved it, but it'd have to be for a really big milestone. What is your favorite Nintendo console? The Nintendo GameCube, purely because it was the first home console I owned that was actually mine, because before that, the Nintendo consoles we owned were my parents'. Plus, I have so many fond memories of the GameCube, the Super Mario Sunshine, Paper Mario, Chibi Robo, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, all absolute classics. What originally got you into Splatoon, and what were your first thoughts on it? So what originally got me into Splatoon is my friend Alpharad used to make videos called Squid Stuff on the original Splatoon, and I used to watch those and I thought the game looked really freaking cool, so that like enticed me to go and buy a copy of myself. My time with Splatoon 1, however, was very short-lived because I ended up having to sell my Wii U, which was unfortunate. My thoughts on it is it had like a really cool aesthetic. I really liked the lore and just the character designs and everything. It was really fun. What's your favorite band or artist? Blink-182. I've got a tattoo of them on my arm. Why? I need to know. Lizzie? I have no idea. You mentioned in your Deltarune video on Let's Play Done that you used to do pixel artwork. Are you still interested in that, and would you pick that back up? So for the longest time, I wanted to be an artist, and that was like my chosen career path. I wanted to be an animator / illustrator, but then I kind of dropped it because I don't know, I just didn't feel the motivation and the passion for it anymore. I still really want to get back into doing digital artwork, and sprite work was also like a massive passion of mine. It was my first introduction to the internet, so maybe one day when I have a bit more free time, I'd like to pick it up. What would you like to ask your future self when you hit 10k? Okay, future Fyrus, how's it going? 2k Fyrus here. Hope you're doing well. So how much do you think has changed between then and now? And also, are you happy with the state of your channel at this point? So I want to end this all off by saying thank you again for 2,000 subscribers. This is absolutely crazy. I started the year with 200 subscribers, and now I've times that number by 10, which is way more than I could have expected from this year. And I'm really hoping to just keep smashing milestones in 2019. Thank you guys for asking all those questions, and thank you guys for watching and supporting my content, and I hope you guys have a nice day.